now moved up to the West End area. I'm very pleased to be in the home of Jim and Patsy Oliver. And Jim Oliver particularly has done a wonderful job in Epworth with his links to the Family History Society and the Mechanics Institute, which are really contain the whole of the history of Epworth, really. But today we're going to talk a little bit more about the reign of Queen Elizabeth II. And I welcome you, Jim, and thank you for taking the time out to be with us.
Thank you.
Now, your recollections of 1953, you're a young lad. What do you recall?
Yeah.
8, were you? And what happened when you were 8 then?
Coronation Day. Well, before Coronation Day, we were told we were going on this maypole on Ken Harrison's coal lorry.
Oh.
So, which is down again Glue's farm. So, I can remember getting ready for it and practicing. Anyway, on Coronation Day was a very wet day. But anyway, off we went on the lorry, up street and rode round Epworth.
Yeah. Now let's get this: up street and down street. Is
Up
it?
street, down street.
That's right. I remember you. We know Nina always used to say that.
Yeah,
up street.
yeah, that's right. That's all West
She
End
taught
talk,
me
yeah.
that actually. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay.
So we rode round Epworth in the procession. 2 o'clock in the marketplace was the crowning of the Coronation Queen, who was Delia Burton.
Oh, Delia Burton.
She was, as she then was now, Mrs. Walker.
Yes.
Then processed to the recreation field, the Thurlow, for the judging of decorated vehicles and fancy dress, which I don't remember. It's a long time ago. I can remember sitting, going on the lorry and that. And then at 4 o'clock, 4 p.m, went to corn home, St Hodson's, just past the Denham garage where the new houses are now, the corn sheds, and that's where we all had our tea and were presented with a mug and spoon.
Oh yes. Let's have a look at the mug and spoon. So there's the mug,
Yeah.
coronation mug, and coronation spoon. Yes.
Coronation spoon, yeah.
There we are, coronation spoon and the coronation mug.
I think.
Not a lot of them given out, Jim.
Well, a lot of people in Epworth still have them, don't you?
Oh, do they? Yeah.
If you asked, they would have, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
Yeah, okay. Then, yeah.
Mine's always stopped in cabinets.
Yeah,
I think the Bible came from school.
Did it? Let's have a look at the
The Most
Bible.
Gracious Majesty Elizabeth II.
Yes, there's the Bible. You can see that. It's, yeah, a lot of us are given things at school, weren't we, when we were younger? And, you know,
Patsy was saying they got the same at Hackney.
did they? Yeah, yeah.
Well, I imagine they all did, yeah.
Okay, so
Right. 4 p.m, I say we all had our teas at St Hodson's. Now, according to the bells, at 6:15 there were going to be junior sports and adult sports, but that was cancelled due to the wet weather. And I think it was done the day after, but I can't remember joining that. It might have done. But anyway, down West End, right, not sure is it day after or not, but I'm sure it was. This is across from Raymond Smith's, just down the road there, outside of the Mission Church.
yes.
The maypole was put up, and there we all are, the kids, West End kids, stood round it and danced round it very untidily, as I remember. We got ourselves in a right tangle. But anyway, we did do it. Phoebe Gravel was in charge of this.
Oh, Phoebe Gravel, yes.
David Cooper's.
She was the lady who had the hairdresser's shop, wasn't
Yeah,
she?
that was Thomas
Gravel.
John's daughter, was
That's
Phoebe
right.
Nelson. I don't think Phoebe was married then, I'm sure she was.
Were you a good dancer, Jim?
No,
No.
I'm sorry in the middle, but maybe that's as well.
Yeah.
I remember we all got in a right tangle, and but we did do it.
You did do it.
This is where my uncle built his new house, basically. Which was well, I went to live there when I was first married. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you want the names, or shall we let that
Well,
come to the exhibition?
Well, I think we'll put that in
There's
the
one or two of
exhibition.
them.
Yeah, we'll put that in the exhibition. Just before, it's just another interesting thought. I remember this house. There was a big stack near here.
That's right, haystack, always stood there.
Mm.
Well, the photo you had was Thomas John Gravel. He was my great-grandmother's brother.
Great-grandfather's brother.
Yeah, that's how we come related to Gravel's, Roland and Eddie and all.
Yeah. Nice picture though, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Lovely picture. And I did, of course, you told me that many years ago.
Yeah,
Well, a few
that's
years
right.
ago now.
The same hedge.
Yeah, the same hedge is still there. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right.
I was born at what we call Charlie Day's house, just past the courtyard.
Oh, right. That's where you
Then this was my father's farm. My mother came up here like. And this is where I lived until my uncle, my grandfather, uncle, and my grandmother came up here to farm from here and left that one. And so my uncle retired in 1970s, and then little by little it all got sold off, and we kept this piece where I am now. So.
Yeah, a nice piece it is too, isn't it? Nice sunny outlook. West End is a quite. I mean, it's so different. I mean, when I first come to Epworth, I drove down this road and I I got the feeling that every house was different almost. You drive
right, yeah.
why was that? Why do you think they built all these houses the way they did?
Well, it's just, they're mostly farms, aren't they? And a lot of them are built sideways on. That's for the wind, of course.
Ah, is that what it's
Yeah,
for?
we had a wall garden at the old house. And
Yeah.
some others did have as well.
It's for the wind?
Yeah, well, I always think so, yeah.
Oh, well, you're an authority, Jim.
Not really, no. But
You don't know,
told
nobody
me
does. Yeah, I noticed that. They're side on and
Yeah.
some with windows sealed up. Of course, they're the window tax. That's why they, you know.
A bit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, for window tax. But West End's it's almost like almost a separate part of Epworth, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it starts at Skyers Lane and comes down, as you notice. But in earlier times, well, before the station came, because there was no station road, was there?
No.
And even earlier times, High Street ran right from Ferry Corner, right down to George Wars, right to the last house. It was all just one street, High Street, a long street. Then the bits came in, and Station Road came in.
Yes.
At West End, there's still a demarcation line.
There is,
There
is, yeah.
This is West End, and as Nina would tell you, it's
Oh,
still
no, it's
not so many old ones left now, but I can remember when all the old people were down.
Yeah.
Just
Just go back to your school years, Jim. I mean, you went to school where? Where did you actually go to school?
Bottom School, Battle Green School.
Oh, I see.
The board school, yeah.
The board school.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
Jennifer Maxfield and Annie Richardson took.
Is there any relation to Eric Maxfield?
Yes, he would be. He's related to a sort of cousin, not cousins, but Mrs. Benson.
Yeah.
That's Jennifer.
Right.
Jennifer Benson, who was a shopping house.
So tell me a bit more
I was
about the
talking to her
school.
the other week about that, and she didn't remember as much as I did. So.
But tell me a bit more about the school. What was it like at the school?
Yeah, I used to like Bottom School. Never stopped for school dinners. I ran home right from being 5.
Did you?
And back again, and back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long way.
So was it a couple of
My
miles?
grandfather used to say, might as well stop at school because he never eats much when he comes over. I never did, not once. He just ran up and down.
You were fit then?
Yeah, I was, yeah.
You're pretty fit now, aren't you?
Not too bad.
Oh, you're all right, you are.
I was in Miss Newton. First class was Miss Newton's. Oh, no, didn't know this
Miss
is
Newton, yeah. Gertrude Newton.
Newton, yeah.
Gertrude.
My nose
Very
used
strict,
my
apparently.
nose used to bleed a lot when I was in that class. And there used to be this big door key on the back, and as soon as your nose started to bleed, you pull the key out and shove it down your neck.
Did she?
Yeah.
Yeah. She was strict, wasn't she, Gertrude?
I used to like her.
Do you like her? Yeah.
Miss Trim was strict. She was the strictest one.
Miss Trim, yes. God bless her.
Yeah, you moved up into Miss Trim's after Miss Newton.
Yeah.
Then to the third class, which was Ron Fairhurst when I was there.
When, just
She
go,
used to throw the border at you.
just going back to Miss Trim, do you think you said she was strict? I got she.
Oh
was,
yeah, she'd rule.
Which
And Miss Mawson as well. She was there as well.
Is that Nellie Mawson?
Nellie Mawson, yeah, they were both quite keen.
You thought, yeah, she said I was firm. She didn't think she was particularly strict.
Oh, I think she was strict.
You think she was
maybe
strict?
Well, even though she favoured me, I think.
She
just come related to me. So.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
Well, Miss Newton did as well. Her brother was married to my aunt at Santa. Newton's, yeah.
Just tell us a little bit about this then, the pinfold and the mission church.
Yeah, well, the pinfold. I can remember it in a ruinous state when I was younger. Wall always seemed higher than that. I think it was quite high.
And what were pinfolds for?
Well, there was any stray cattle used to put in, didn't they, and keep them until they sort of...
I see, did they have to pay to get them out?
I think they did they?
Well, I'm asking
like
you.
that, yeah.
That'll be edited out.
You'll tell me, yeah. No, they had penders, didn't they? And I can remember that being in a ruinous state. And then, of course, Herbert Oliver, as you've seen the plaque, Herbert Oliver got it all done up, and it's
We've got
quite
one
similar.
on Rectory Street as well.
There is, yeah, but this was a better one.
How does Epworth compare then to now? What do you say? What's your view?
I think I liked it better then.
Did you? Why?
Not as many houses.
Not as many houses.
No.
You're a quieter chap, aren't you?
I think, well...
You are.
I suppose so, yeah.
So therefore maybe it's the hustle. The hustle bustle is a bit over the top now.
Yeah, 1970s when the first estate started to come. It changed, and it's still all right. It's okay. That was I like that was born here. So.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, everybody knew everybody.
Yeah, that's
the earlier times, same as most villages.
Yeah.
Did.
But you say that, and yet we all want to try and get to know everybody, but sometimes there's a restriction, isn't there? You feel like you're not quite accepted.
Well, that's right. Val Shaw, just up there in nurseries, she once said years ago, well, I've been here, I think, 30 years, and I still aren't a West Ender, so I mean, there you go.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, but it is
still the way people talk.
Exactly, yeah.
Some young people now will say, "Oh, that lot over at Scunthorpe were at council," so they still don't like, and prefer to have accent until stopped, which I would.
So overall, then, I mean, we're now going into the almost the period of the Queen's Jubilee period. We're going to have another big celebration in Epworth. I understand there's a procession almost starting here. Is that right? Do you know anything about that?
Well, Von said asked me to take leaflets out for us, so
Yeah.
town now, which came on Monday morning. So,
Yeah. So do you know anything about that at all?
Not a lot, no. What I've read.
Yeah.
It should be okay.
Yeah, it should be good, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
All we want is the weather now for this.
A nice day.
A nice
not
day.
a wet day.
No, like that was. So, well, I mean, you know, it's nice that you've taken the time to get these little bits, which, of course, is the first time we've actually, I think, had any...
well, I thought I'd get them out
I think that's excellent.
they were in cabinet and bookcase. I thought just before we came.
Yeah, that's lovely.
I say, I bet most of kids still have these three things,
Well,
I'm sure.
the thing is, you've got them, we've seen them,
yeah.
and we'd like to thank you, Jim, for your time.
Can I say a bit about the Mission Church?
You can do, by all means.
I've written some things down.
Go on then, tell us about the Mission Church.
Well, when my uncle was first married, he went to live there. And I've slept there as a kid, like. It was a weird sort of a place, because there was a kitchen, and the first room was where the high altar was. Then you went down steps into a middle room, and then bedrooms at the bottom. It was still sort of a church, just laid out as a church, but it was a house. But I quite liked it when it was there.
It's interesting, we went to the Mission Church at the Turberry, where it'll be shown on this film.
Oh yeah, that's
a minute one.
That's a little one. This was built as a satellite church for St Andrews, of course.
Right, it was, that's right.
Yeah.
Somebody told me there's something on the corner, something's buried there or something.
The cornerstone.
Yes.
The cornerstone which came from the old church at Santoff, the Dutch church.
Right.
It was in Mr Butterick's yard, just down here. This is Niner's
great-grandfather.
Niner Oliver's.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a great-grandfather, would it? Something like that, Mr Butterick's, yeah. And when they were going to build that, they brought it out and cleaned it up, and it's bricked in now, so you can't see it, but...
Because the lady who lives there, she's a bookmaker's wife, I understand, and she said if I could find that cornerstone, I would, you know, have it exposed. I would like to see it.
Well, it's at the top corner.
Well, she doesn't know where it is.
Top corner, lane side, that's where it is.
There we are, top corner, lane side, if you're watching this. But she always said to me...
That's where it is, yeah, because I was sorry when Mr Bradley, he lived there, he put a brick skin right around.
So on this picture then, show me where it is then.
Top end there.
Oh, there?
Yeah.
Well, this is the lane side, isn't it?
This is the lane coming up to it, yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's at the top.
So that end...
The far corner of the lane side, that's where it is.
Nearest the lane. Okay, we can tell her that then. Okay, anything else you want to tell us about the Mission Church?
Yeah.
You've got a ream of notes here, Jim. I think you're well prepared.
This is out of the Bellavander shears. But it bears the following inscription: to the glory of God, this stone from Santoff Church, 1686, was laid as a cornerstone of this church, October the 7th, 1886. Still there.
Still there. Long time.
The font, I think the font from Santoff, the old church at Santoff, is at Tetley Road. There's one or two more things there as well, things are spread about, but these relics are still survive.
Amazing.
The cornerstone is there, yeah.
Yeah.
And we did have a bell tower. I was just looking before you came. November 1936 in the bells, the Mission Church is up for sale, so I presume sort of circa that time was when it finished. But in the registers, it says in the original registers, a lot of people were baptised at the Mission Church.
Yeah, I suppose, yeah.
And maybe, I presume in the old register, yeah, but at home.
Right.
At the old house here, I brought up a Baptist. With a CV. So
they got you on the first once
church a lot later, yeah. But I should say at the Baptist, at the Mission Church baptism, because a lot of people perhaps would think that they were baptised up at the church, and not so. The old books that Niner had, the old register book, the old magazine books, it's in there. I copied all those. There's a lot of people in there who were actually baptised down here and there.
What I always think...
It was a satellite of St Andrews, so it's the same thing.
Yeah, what I always think about any community, not only Epworth, but there are certain people who do something that, like yourself, and I've got to say, and Patsy and a few other people in present company, do something for the community which other people in time will be very pleased that they did. And you're one of those people, and I think that's very commendable.
Perhaps I'm a parish pump, like on a Tuesday
Wow.
morning outside mechanics.
Yeah.
Gossip Brad, I was a dustman for a lot of years, and I know a lot of people who
I bet you do.
me. So, can I say one more thing about
So
the old chap, the old church?
Oh, I think, yeah, tell us.
Right. Used to have a bell tower. Used to have a bell tower in there.
Yeah,
Right.
Bell Tower.
Well, Aunt Mary Oliver, that's my father, to my Uncle George. She was Mr. Selby's daughter from West End Farm. And Mrs. Straight was her sister.
Right.
Mrs. Jack Stafford and all them. Well, Canon Overton, she used to say, she can remember, Canon Overton was rector
yes,
then.
he was.
And his coachman Robbie used to bring him down his pony and trap and drop him off. And coachman would to go down to Mr. Selby's and sit in Mr. Selby's kitchen and talk to him. And when Canon Overton had done the service, he'd ring the bell and the coachman would come out, he'd hear him and he'd come across the road and take him back up street.
Nice story.
Yeah.
That's a nice story. Yeah.
So, there you go.
Well, for a man who said 3 minutes is a long time, I have to commend you, Jim. No, but
sorry,
in all
I've
fairness,
rambled on a lot
not
about
at all.
nothing, really.
In all fairness, it's been lovely. It's been lovely listening to you, and you've told us a lot more than we, being in the family history, you expect that. But it's been lovely talking to you. Thanks for inviting us into your home.
You're very
and let's
welcome.
hope we have a really good Jubilee.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.